Hello everyone, today we're going to be ranking habits that skyrocket your productivity from D tier all the way up to S tier. First up on the list we've got single tasking, and this one is going straight into S tier. Trying to multitask is one of the biggest productivity lies ever sold. When you have music in the background, notifications popping up on your phone that you're mentally preparing a response for, and two Word documents open at the same time, you're not actually working, you're just busy. Real productivity happens when your brain locks onto one thing and stays there until you're satisfied with the job you've done. No background noise, no switching, no dopamine loss. If you only fix this one habit, your results will literally double. That's why it lies in S tier. Next up are clear to-do lists, which go into C tier, and this might surprise you. Short lists with 1 to 3 tasks can be useful, and time blocking is definitely productive. But most people abuse to-do lists. They write down everything, overwhelm themselves, then avoid starting anything. To-do lists don't actually build clarity in your routine. They just make it easier to write down a task and then completely forget about it. That's why they sit in C tier. Next up is planning tomorrow the night before, which is an A tier habit. This is because waking up without a clear plan immediately throws you into the deep end of decision fatigue, and you end up wasting your strong, brain-active early hours of the day figuring out what to do. When you know exactly what to do when you wake up, starting becomes automatic, and you become a productivity machine. Next on the list is utilizing the first hour after you wake up, and this goes into S tier. If the first thing you do is check your phone, you've already lost the day. Your brain immediately enters reaction mode instead of creation mode. The first hour sets your mental tone. If you control it, the rest of the day becomes easier. If you give it away, you spend the day trying to regain control. So, no scrolling, no messages, just you and something productive for the first hour of the day. Next on the list is starting before you feel ready, which also goes into S tier. Waiting to feel motivated is how nothing gets done. Truly productive people rarely feel ready. They just start, and that readiness follows. The hardest part of any task is in the first 5 minutes. Once you've got motion, friction disappears and you're ahead of 99% of people who are still waiting. This habit alone separates the doers from the planners, which is why it lies in S tier. Next on the list is working only when you feel motivated, which is a D tier habit. Motivation is unpredictable. It will come and go, and it will crash. If your productivity depends on how you feel, your output will always be inconsistent and you will not end up making true and consistent results. Real productivity is built on showing up even when it feels boring, uncomfortable, or pointless. Even if you feel exhausted, you will at least show up and put in the minimum level of effort to maintain momentum and keep a direction forward. Next up on the list is aggressively saying no, which goes into A tier. Every unnecessary yes steals time, energy, and focus. Productive people protect their schedule like it's money, because it literally is. If you don't decide what your time is for, other people will do it for you, and you won't end up in the position that you want to be in. This habit alone will free up hours every week for productivity. The reason why I put an A tier and not S tier though is because it's up to you at the end of the day to decide what to work on, and you may just end up procrastinating those 3 hours away. So for that reason, it lies in A tier. Next up on the list is having a clear and simple environment, which goes into B tier. Your environment doesn't exactly create productivity, but it absolutely affects how much resistance you feel before starting. Whether it's a messy desk, a cluttered room, or a chaotic workspace, they all force your brain to process unnecessary information before you even begin working. That extra mental noise in the back of your mind adds friction to starting good habits and makes being productive much more difficult than it needs to be. However, the main reason why this lies in B tier is because a clean room won't save you if your habits are still bad. You can have the cleanest setup in the world and still procrastinate all day. Next up on the list is physical movement, and this also goes into B tier. Exercise improves your blood flow, clears brain fog, and increases energy levels. After moving your body, it's easier to sit down and focus since your brain feels less sluggish. The reason why I put it in B tier though is because exercise will not replace actual work. You don't just get productive by going for a 5-minute walk and then avoiding your tasks. It will support productivity by making focus easier, but it will not end up replacing it. Next on the list is time blocking, which goes into S tier. Tasks without time slots don't get done productively. They just float around your brain, causing stress. When you make a schedule and allocate time blocks to tasks, you remove negotiation. You know when you're working and when you're not, and know what to work on at what time. The last habit on the list is low stimulation breaks. These are breaks where you don't scroll, don't consume content, and don't overload your brain. Just walking, sitting, stretching, or doing nothing. Personally, I recommend taking a 5-minute break every 15 minutes of deep work to just meditate. These low stimulation breaks help prevent burnout and keep your attention span from frying over the course of the day. They make productivity sustainable long term and are substantially better than normal breaks, which involve scrolling or watching brain rot YouTube. The reason why I put it in B tier, however, is because they don't end up replacing hard work on their own. That wraps up my tier list for habits that skyrocket your productivity. If you're not already subscribed, please do so and comment down below if you want to see more videos like these. Thank you for watching and until next time.